So what's up, guys? Today we're gonna talk about Deidara versus Jiraiya, and with me I have a guest. We have Gritty here. Introduce yourself.
It's Morbin time!
Where would you like to start? Because we were talking a little bit about this before the recording.
Yeah, we have an extremely powerful Akatsuki member versus what should be a below Sanin level fighter.
I know a lot of people like Jiraiya, and Jiraiya is a great character in my opinion, but I think Gritty and we don't really think he's that powerful.
I love Jiraiya. The guy's a badass, but his power level is mid!
You want to start with Deidara and Jiraiya's speed? Because I think that's a pretty good thing to get out of the way.
Deidara should be relative to Gaara, and Gaara can block Raikage in V2. He's also relative to the Tsuchikage, who can keep up with Edo Madara, and even has somewhat of a feat, let's say, against Mangekyo Sharingan Sasuke, which should put him above the Raikage. If your counter for this is the Raikage is stated to be the fastest, blah blah blah, is he faster than the likes of Itachi, Nagato, Obito? Jigen was alive at that point.
I think he probably is. Sure, reacting to the Raikage is very impressive, and I think Deidara is definitely very fast. Though he can fly very fast, and flying is just a very good thing to have in a battle against an enemy that cannot fly, which Jiraiya can't. And he dodged Heavy Sasuke. Heavy Sasuke was able to blitz Team 7. Like, Yamato was like, who the hell is this guy? Is like very much stronger than I thought he was gonna be. And Sasuke, who fought Deidara, was just much stronger too.
Yamato is ass though, so it's kind of a bad comparison.
I mean, yeah, sure, but he's a Jonin still, and he was like, I can't see this guy moving. And then Heavy Sasuke gets much more powerful because he absorbs Orochimaru. And then Deidara is dodging this guy.
The thing with the Deidara versus Sasuke, Heavy Sasuke, that Sasuke was such a bad counter for him.
Oh, for sure.
He could fly. He had the absolute best Raitun ever. He had the Sharingan, which allowed him to see his bombs, including the C4, which is, his ultimate jutsu, and he could just easily counter it. And at the end, Sasuke cannot even stand properly.
If you think about it, C4, absolutely insane jutsu. If Hashirama breathes in the C4 nano explosives, he dies. Like, it nags durability because it kind of explodes you from within. And the only way to counter it is by actually being able to see chakra, so you can see the nano explosives coming, know how to counter Deidara, which is by using Raiton, which not many people have all these things.
If your raw durability is good enough, you can just block it, kind of like how Kaguya did with Naruto's Rasen Shuriken, which is really similar to the C4. But does Jiraiya really have that type of durability on him?
Oh, of course not.
What are his feats anyway? Other than getting absolutely destroyed by anyone who touches him, of course.
Okay, so Jiraiya's speed. Jiraiya in Sage Mode, he is relative to the paths of pain. Even the slower paths of pain. Sure, he kicks the human path, but then the human path reacts to his punch, and they seem to be very equal in taijutsu. So, were the paths of pain that fast? Not really sure. When the Diva path shows up, he's the fastest, probably one of the fastest, at least one of the strongest too. When he shows up and the others show up, Jiraiya dies in 2 seconds.
And his fastest attack cannot actually tag what should be the slowest pain. And when the Preta path, I believe, comes in, he cannot do anything to him. And that dude is a monster when it comes to speed, who can dodge Naruto and even reacts to his Rasen Shuriken, which should be faster than his own speed.
The thing is, Jiraiya couldn't tag the Preta Path with Taijutsu, and Kiba and his mom were actually giving him a run for his money during the Pain Invasion. So take that as you may. Sure, his massive Rasengan can carve through mountains according to the data book statements, and that's his most powerful jutsu in terms of raw strength.
Therefore he wins, dude. He can destroy a mountain, right?
Yeah, because Deidara sure cannot do that with ease. What can Jiraiya do if Deidara drops one of his C1 bombs, for instance?
Not even like the C3 or C2, just the C1, the weakest one. What does he do, bros?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. The food cart jutsu. The jutsu where Jiraiya summons a frog above the target and the frog drops down and smashes the target.
Gravity versus above Raikage's speed. What is faster?
Yeah, exactly. People say, no man, he can just summon the frog. I'm like, dude, it's the gravity. It's like 9.8 meters per second square. It's not very fast. You can probably run faster than that. Like, if you're an average human, you can probably run out of the way. Imagine a ninja. And then they say that the QB wasn't able to react to that when it attacked Konoha, but still.
Caught off guard, maybe?
Yeah, that as well. The QB was actually casting a Bijudama when Minato summoned the toad above it.
Why did the little frog thingy, Pa, not just ask one of his big frogs to go and murder Pain? Why did he ask Naruto to learn Sage Mode?
I think there's an argument to be made that the large ones could be probably One Tail's level, because they were relative in the fight against Gaara. Gamabunta was fighting Shukaku, but he was not overpowering him by any means, and that Shukaku was kind of like, oh, if Gaara wakes up, I lose my power.
Dygo, can you explain what Deidara does to Bijus?
I mean, yeah, he no-diffed the Three Tails.
Literally one-shots a Biju with his weakest bomb.
Pain flick his finger, and then the three frogs fly away. If Deidara throws a bomb on these toads, they are dead, and they are very big targets. It's not like it's very hard to miss them.
And when it comes to Deidara's durability, and we haven't talked about this, Deidara actually tanks one of his C1s when he's fighting Heavy Sasuke, and it barely damages him. The Eight Tails can actually tank its own Biju bomb. If we assume that every single Biju is similar, then Deidara has mountain level attack potency with his C1, and he can also just easily tank that. If we use the versus battle logic to one-shot someone, aka knock them out or kill them with a single blow, you need to be 7.5 times stronger than them.
Which is why?
But you can't do this to me.
I don't know why, I guess that's just the logic, you know.
Okay. I can see that happening. I mean, Deidara's bombs. Maybe Itachi could dodge. I mean, not Itachi. Maybe Jiraiya could dodge the smaller ones that have a lesser range, especially on Sage Mode because he can sense chakra. But even still, Deidara can just keep on making them. And what is Jiraiya going to do against C4 Karura? Absolutely nothing.
Actually, out of all of them, I think the C1 kills him, the C2 as well. No need to even mention the C3. With the C4, you might use the argument that Sage Mode can feel chakra, so he can just reverse summon himself. Maybe?
But even still, I think when he does that, it's too late because he's already breathed in the nano explosives and they're gonna explode regardless.
I mean, his speed is ass, so.
I mean, there's also always, when you talk about Jiraiya, there is the Genjutsu argument, the frog song. Would that work against Deidara? They one-shot 3 paths of pain.
It would probably work against him. I'm sure it would work against almost anyone. But
Frog Song
takes several seconds, if not minutes, to activate. Is Deidara this guy who scales to the Raikage? Is he just gonna sit on his ass and wait for Jiraiya to just do it?
Yeah, no. A lot of people also argue that Deidara is not as good in a closed environment. They say that Deidara is a much better fighter in open fields and stuff like that.
Which is true. I don't have an issue with that. But then the question is also, is Jiraiya really that good in mid to long range fighting?
Not as far as I know.
His fastest jutsu, which is a mid-range attack, is Kabari Senbon, and it gets casually blocked by the Animal Path.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys, the reason we say that the Animal Path is the slowest pain is quite simple. The female Animal Path is the only one that wasn't able to evade the Rasen Shuriken, and we're just assuming that the male one is as slow since they're just corpses that Nagato gives chakra to. But it's totally fine if you disagree with us on this one, because Jiraiya can't do anything against the Pradhan Asura path, and they themselves hardly scale to Deidara.
And yeah, I mean, if Deidara just flies above Jiraiya and keeps on throwing bombs, that's just a dirty tactic, but it works.
Yeah, it just works. I mean, the Akatsuki hired this guy for a reason. It obviously does work. And for anyone who's gonna be like, oh, the hype statements, bro, just putting him at Sanin level, so he should be equal to Tsunade and Orochimaru. Tsunade just goes through Madara Susanoo like butter, and she's fast enough to keep up with him somewhat. Orochimaru, not even end of the series Orochimaru, just the one that we had in part 1. Just the idea, the thought of him coming back scares Suigetsu, and he starts pissing himself. Suigetsu, a man who can survive a Biju bomb from the 8 Tails, a man who can react to V1 Raikage and Killer B, who's relative in speed to KCM1 Naruto.
So, if you compare just Tsunade's raw strength with Jiraiya's raw strength, Jiraiya's most powerful jutsu is the Massive Rasengan, which is a lesser version of Naruto's Massive Rasengan, and Tsunade can punch and crack Madara Susanoo, while Naruto's Massive Rasengan can't scratch Madara Susanoo. But do you think if Jiraiya lands a Massive Rasengan square on Deidara, do you think Deidara goes down?
He just tanks it casually. It doesn't do anything to him.
Yeah, I guess.
He can block a C1, his own C1, which should be relative to that, probably even stronger if we use that logic. So what the hell is it gonna do to him?
Do you think, for instance, C3, the one he throws on the Sand Village to like really mess it up, and then Gaara blocks it with the entire desert, essentially. What is Jiraiya doing against that?
I mean, we don't have that many feats for Jiraiya's durability. He gets destroyed by the Asura Path, who we don't know how strong this guy is, and he gets stabbed by a Rinnegan Rod, which stabs everyone. You can kind of say that his durability is absolutely insane and he can just tank anything, but what happens when Ma and Pa die? Or they just get tired, or they just go away, or the summoning time runs out of time.
And the thing is, the Asura Path did blow up his arm, and the Asura Path was one shot by Sage Mode Naruto. So it's not like, I don't think he has god tier strength or anything.
I mean, you can say that maybe his own durability is way below his attack potency, which, if we use Newton's third law, his durability should be equal to his attack potency, except if maybe he used a missile or a Rinnegan gun. It was probably just a casual punch, so Jiraiya's durability is also trash. We can say something funny like how Deidara would probably just kill him with those clay puppets of his, you know?
Yeah, doesn't look very good for Jiraiya here. I know a lot of people are going to be angry in the comments, but yeah, if you have a counter argument, please, by all means, comment below. Definitely go subscribe to Gritty. He has some very interesting videos.
Very interesting.